Hi, my name is Jamie Weekly, and today I'm going to be talking to you about subtraction. First, it's important to start out and remember that subtraction has two types. One type that I'll teach you about is called takeaway subtraction. You start with one quantity and take away some number from that quantity and then count how many remain. So here we have one quantity. And if I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candies as my one quantity that I start with, and I take 3 candies away, that's my sum number, and then I count how many remain. 2 candies remain. So 5 minus 3 equals 2. So that is why this algorithm works for takeaway subtraction. The other type of subtraction is called comparison subtraction. The definition of comparison subtraction is to count how many more there are in one group compared to another. So if I have 3 candies in this group and 2 candies in this group, how many more candies are in this group than this one? Well, I would simply take this quantity, which is 3, subtract it by 2 in order to see how many more there are in this group than this group. Although comparison subtraction is essential to the subtraction definition and algorithm, we're going to be focusing more on takeaway subtraction for this example that I'm going to give you. So again, in this video, it is important to remember the idea of flats, which is a group of 100, 10 by 10, a group called a rod, which is a group of 10, and a single, which is 1. Also, when taking into consideration the idea of flats, rods, and singles, it's also important to remember the idea of regrouping or borrowing. So essentially, the idea of regrouping is remembering the principle of conservation in the way that this amount is the same as 13 singles on their own, etc. I won't draw 13 singles, but just remembering that a rod and 3 singles is the same as 13 singles because this is a group of 10 plus 3 singles, and this would be a group of 10 singles added with the 3 other singles. So that's the important principle of regrouping to remember when doing subtraction problems with more than one digit. So take the problem 513 minus 289, for example. When we go to do subtraction, when we try and subtract 3 from 9, we can't do that because you can't take 9 candies away from a group of 3 candies. So what we can do is we can essentially borrow or regroup the rods over here to singles over here. So if we remember that this is not 1, this is 10 because it is a group of 10 in the rods column. So what we can do is regroup this. We can borrow this 1 and make this 13. So now it goes from one group of 10 to 0 groups of 10. So now it is 13 minus 9. So 13 minus 9 is 4. So now we come over to the rods column and we say, well, how are we going to take... So now we're thinking, how are we going to take away 8 rods from a group of 0 rods? We can do the same thing that we did for this column over here, and we can borrow a flat from the flats column. And a flat is essentially 10 rods. So we can take a flat from here, and now this becomes 10 rods instead of 0 rods. So if you take 10 rods minus 8 rods, you get 2 rods. Now here you subtract 2 flats from 4 flats, so you get 2. So in the end, you come out with 224 as your answer.